News. I'm Yolanda Yablonsky, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about hydro dams and if any effect they have on Lake Winnipeg. Before we start talking about this, we have to know where this all started. So, Lake Winnipeg became a Manitoba hydro issue after a 1958 government report stated that the regulation of Lake Winnipeg could be a benefit for the development of hydroelectric power along the Nelson River. On September 25, 1970, Premier Ed Schreyer announced that the Manitoba government would proceed with the development of Lake Winnipeg for flood control and the regulation of the Nelson River for power purposes. In 1979, the Winnipeg generating station and control structure was built 100 kilometers downstream from Lake Winnipeg. Now, let's go live to NBCI's news reporter Amy Langan, who is live on location at Winnipeg Beach.
Thank you, Yolanda. As you can see, it is a sunny day here on the shores of Winnipeg Beach, one of the many beaches on Lake Winnipeg. Take a look behind me. You can see that Lake Winnipeg is a vast lake, which serves many people and communities. Many of you have seen the video, Save My Lake Winnipeg, which shines a light on the increasingly dire situation facing Lake Winnipeg. Just what is troubling the waters of Lake Winnipeg? Do Manitobans know what is happening to their beautiful lake? Oh, look, there's a gentleman walking down the boardwalk. Let's go ask him some questions. Excuse me, sir? Sir.
Hi, how are you?
I'm Amy Langan with NBCI News, and I was wondering if I could ask you a couple questions.
Of course you can.
Okay, well, on today's show, we're researching hydro dams and Lake Winnipeg.
Oh, wow, okay.
So, do you come to Winnipeg Beach often?
Yes, I do. I like to come here on a daily basis.
Have you seen any weird changes?
I've heard of a couple issues, including shore erosion and the toxic algae which lives in the lake.
Where did you hear that, sir?
I have actually watched the video, Save My Lake Winnipeg, which was very intriguing and very interesting.
What do you think can be done to protect Lake Winnipeg?
Well, I personally think it's the responsibility of our government and Manitoba Hydro to keep this lake in great condition for our children for hundreds of years to come.
There you have it, folks. And now back to Yolanda in the station, who has more information about hydro dams and Lake Winnipeg.
Thank you, Amy Langan. As you can see, people are worried about the health of Lake Winnipeg. Two things mentioned by the gentleman are toxic algae and shore erosion. Let's take a look at those two issues now. On the phone with us today is a science professor, Christopher Atkinson. He is going to explain a little more about the algae issue.
A toxic lake environment is created through cultural eutrophication, which is a process where water bodies receive excess nutrients from human activity that stimulate excessive plant growth. The two key nutrients that are affecting algae growth in Lake Winnipeg are phosphorus and nitrogen. This is how it works. Phosphorus and nitrogen enter the water, stimulating growth of algae. Large algae blooms die in winter and sink to the bottom of the lake where they decompose. The process of decomposition uses up oxygen in the water, leaving no oxygen for other lake creatures. This whole process affects the health of the lake negatively.
Thank you, Dr. Atkinson, for that explanation. Not only is algae a problem, but so too is shore erosion. Shoreline erosion has a negative impact in a number of ways. Loss of valuable waterfront property, sediment pollution, interference with flight, release of nutrients, loss of vegetation and shoreline habitats, loss of underwater habitats too. Opponents of the Winnipeg Hydro Dam have said that the dam has kept the water levels artificially too high. They believe that the high water levels are what is causing shoreline erosion and the increasing presence of toxic algae. Even though water levels are not really higher since the dam was built, Does that mean that the hydro dam does not have any negative effects on Lake Winnipeg? The answer to this question, according to Dr. Al Christofferson, is we don't know. Dr. Al Christofferson, Managing Director of Lake Winnipeg Research Consortium, said that Lake Winnipeg ranks very low in the terms of number of published scientific studies compared with other lakes in the world. In other words, there isn't enough information to conclude that Winnipeg Dam is negatively affecting Lake Winnipeg. More research is needed. With this in mind, I contacted Manitoba Hydro to find out what, if any, research are they conducting on the effects of Winnipeg on Lake Winnipeg. Crystal Harland, a member of Manitoba Hydro's public relations team, responded to my question. She told me that Manitoba Hydro provides financial support to a number of organizations that are carrying out independent research on Lake Winnipeg. These organizations include
Lake Winnipeg Research Consortium, the International Institute of Sustainable Development, Lake Friendly, Red River Basin Commission, Partners for the Saskatchewan River Basin, and Manitoba Conservation Districts Association.
After emailing experts and doing research, I do not think that we can conclusively say that dams, in this case Winnipeg, is having any negative effects on Lake Winnipeg. From my perspective, Manitoba Hydro is doing what they should do to protect the lake. But what should we be doing to protect Lake Winnipeg? Here are some ideas.
Write to Manitoba Hydro and your government representatives expressing your concern about Lake Winnipeg. Raise money and donate it to an organization carrying out research on the lake. Raise awareness through social media such as Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Use phosphate-free products in your home. And don't dump grass, leaves, or soil in the rivers or lakes.
Thank you for watching today's show. For NBCI News, I'm Yolanda Yablonsky, wishing you a great day.